So each year in this opening session, I share a few thoughts about what's going on in the world of orchestras and tying it to the themes of conference. I'd be lying if I told you it had come easily this year. We find ourselves at an intensely complicated moment in the cultural life of this country, a moment that challenges us, both as individuals and institutions, to find a suitable response. In moments like this, I think it helps us to return to first principles. The arts are embedded in every corner of American life, and they transcend political and social boundaries. The creation and enjoyment of art lives not only in concert halls and theaters like this, but in schools, churches, homes, community centers, parks, in the streets, and in fact, anywhere where people gather. The arts are foundational to human culture and identity, and for decades we've been able to call on the broadest possible coalition of support to sustain them. As you all know, the League and your orchestras as 501c3s are non-partisan organizations and have a long history of partnering with political leaders across the aisles to advance policies that support the arts. Time and again, threats to the NEA have been vanquished through bipartisan solidarity. And we should remind ourselves that the pandemic relief that was so essential to the survival of just about every orchestra represented in this room was the product of cross-party collaboration. In normal times, our shared values bring us together across differences. But these are not normal times, because today those values themselves have become battlegrounds, not common ground. And while we can't oppose candidates or parties, we most certainly can and should oppose policy that hurts our field. And there are genuine policy questions right now that risk creating harm to our field. Questions about whether the arts will continue to be funded at a federal level, about whether our First Amendment freedoms of artistic expression will be honored, about our ability as non-profits to function free of political interference, about how travel restrictions may impact visiting artists and our own employees who are on visas, about the health and survival of classical public radio, about how we're perceived in the international arts community, and about whether the critical and important and meaningful steps we've made in diversity and inclusion in the orchestra field will be sustained. As a field, our collective response matters deeply right now, and what Marin said about courage is so incredibly timely. We must make our voices heard. So please, speak regularly and urgently to your elected officials about the role of the arts in our communities. Celebrate our indispensable contributions to civic pride and local identity. Resist any attempt to undermine our legitimate quest for broader participation in classical music, and stand up for the freedoms of our art and the freedoms of our people whenever they're called into question. One of the very great privileges of my role is traveling around the country visiting orchestras in their own homes. This year has taken me to Arkansas, South Dakota, Rhode Island, California, Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina, among many, many others. And what I see everywhere is orchestras using music and artistry in myriad ways to build more vital connections among us. A few weeks ago, I heard a tremendous performance by the Nashville Symphony under Giancarlo Guerrero of Copland's Third Symphony that touched me to the core. Nothing in American music communicates life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness like Copland's Third. There's a lot at stake for the arts in this country right now, and that piece hit hard that night as a vivid reminder of what music can do. Celebrating life and freedom, invoking wonder at the talent and creativity of artists, and drawing us together in our humanity. This is not idealistic. This is just what we do. So I want to offer a sincere thanks to every single person here today for the many ways in which you personally support the inspiration, creativity, and craft of our field. The music has never mattered more. This week we will search together for strategies to improve financial resilience, to increase our philanthropic base, to welcome new audiences, and ultimately to create ways to matter more to more people. Through this work, I am confident we will weather the uncertainty. We will resolutely continue with the important work that we have committed to, including the quest to make this field an ever more inclusive place. And we will fiercely protect the gifts our art form offers the world.